All right, Buck, we got two teams coming off big wins last week. Dolphins taking on Ravens. And inside of this game, we're looking on the perimeter and in the secondary for a good matchup.
Yeah, really compelling matchups on the outside. I think when I focus my eyes on the perimeter, I'm looking at the Miami Dolphins wide receivers versus the Ravens secondary because there's some talented playmakers for the Dolphins. They're really getting it done in recent weeks, and they've been the focal point of that offense.
Tell me what you see when you watch these wideouts here.
You know, a lot is made about Juice Landry, but really the guys that have really been making big plays have been Kenny Stills and Devante Parker. Kenny Stills, if I'm in the scouting room and I'm writing up the scouting report, I'm saying he is the big play guy. Here at the bottom of the screen, one-on-one coverage. We get blown coverage, bad angle by the safety. But what Kenny Stills continues to do is consistently take the ball down the field. He delivers those explosive plays, those chunk plays that you have to get on offense. He has been the guy to deliver those. But the other guy who has really emerged of late, Devante Parker. Last year they took him in the first round. They wanted a big receiver, a guy that could be a true number one receiver, and he's been that. He's been a vertical playmaker. Here we see him on a post route, getting over the top defense. And what I really like about Devante Parker, his ability to come down with the acrobatic catches, particularly down in the red zone, have been a difference for their offense.
Here's our stat of the game when we look at these guys here, Buck. Still 6 TDs at 50-plus yards. Parker has 50-plus receiving yards in the last 3 games. So both guys are catching fire and doing a nice job. But they're going to see a safety, a resurgent safety for the Baltimore Ravens, and that's Eric Weddle coming over from the San Diego Chargers. First play here, Buck. You see the numbers there. They are what they are. You got a single high look, and you've got the ability just to float, Buck. He's going to play deep in the middle of the field. Look how
deep he is.
He's looks like he's about 30 yards deep. So he's got a chance to see everything, lock on the quarterback, catch his eyes, read his shoulders, and go over there and get himself a nice layup interception against the Cleveland Browns. Now we see a too-high safety look, Buck, and here's where you get some of that disguise come in. You're going to see them roll back and watch Eric Weddle right at the snap. Going to show it late, roll back to the deep middle, and watch him just make a beeline here for the football. So, look, he's going to give you different looks. You're going to see him in all different locations. One thing you can always count on with Eric Weddle, his eye's going to be on the quarterback, and he's going to make some plays. And we see there he leads all safeties in total tackles since entering the NFL in 2007. So we showed you what you can do range-wise and ball skill-wise. Also a very reliable tackler up.
Very reliable tackler. I think the funny thing is going back to my notes when he was coming out of college from Utah, the one thing that I talked about, he was 2-time Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. He was a ball magnet. The ball always kind of found him. If it was a overthrown, a tip, a deflection, balls on the ground, it always appeared to bounce up in his arms. And there's a value in that. And so for the Baltimore Ravens, a team that has struggled generating turnovers and takeaways, Eric Weddle has been a very much-needed find in the back end because he's given them that playmaking ability they desperately need.
All right, before we pick a winner here, I'm going to test you because I was scouting at
I like
the same
being
time.
tested. I like being tested.
So the year before Weddle came out, right, the year before, he played in a bowl game and matched up as a corner against a premier wideout and played pretty well against him. Can you remember the wideout he played against at that time?
Didn't he play against Calvin Johnson in the bowl game?
That's why you're the best.
How about that?
Calvin Johnson and Georgia Tech, and Eric Weddle held up okay. All right, who you like for a winner in this game?
You know, I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. I think the Dolphins' offense is hot. They're versatile. They're balanced. They're able to run the ball with J.J. And Ryan Tannehill is finally playing like the franchise quarterback that they wanted. He's not a truck. He's a trailer, but the rest of the team is really carrying it.
Yeah, even with some injuries up front, they've played well. Joe Flacco, just okay so far this year. Hasn't been wowing me. I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well. We both like the Dolphins to win that one. This is a big game for two teams trying to make their way to the playoffs.